Another signing is at the crossroads of possibly even leaving Kaizer Chiefs in January, and that is Luke Baartman. We're also going to talk about what Kamayo's agent has said and what we can actually learn in what happened with Kamayo not coming to Kaizer Chiefs and then coming to Kaizer Chiefs. It's actually shocking the words that she actually used. Hello and welcome to Khosi Nation Fan TV. I am Pelo, I am your host, and this is where fans meet and talk about Kaizer Chiefs. Khosi Football Club. So we'll start with Luke Baartman, who, just like a lot of the new Kaizer Chiefs signings, have not, just like some, not a lot, like some Kaizer Chiefs signings, he has not gotten a chance to play. He's with Shinga, he's with Chislet, and it's him. So it's the three of them because the rest of them have been given an opportunity. Now, the story with Baartman is we need to contextualize it. For one, he hadn't been playing football for a long time. Someone might say same thing with Velepai, but he's playing. But we also saw Baartman when he was playing for the youngins in the club, not in the Club World Cup, in the World Cup in Chile. He didn't look, he looked rusty, and when he was used, he came off the bench, and he just wasn't convincing. So that is why there's been these talks of why has he not been given a chance. But at the same time, it's understandable why he's not been given a chance. There were even talks of him going to join the DDC team, right? And then the coaches kind of rubbished it. They said he's in their plans. But is he? Because here's the thing. In a game that we played against Chippa United, where was he playing? Right? He was not where was he playing? Who was playing a 10, the position that Baartman can play? Ungop. But who do we know to play a 10? Umtutuz. But who else can play a 10? Chislet, who's also not playing, by the way. Mabue can play as a 10. Fundo Vilagazi can play as a 10. So there's already like 5 players. I'm not even counting Umatlo who can play there. Kaizer can play there because now clearly is not playing as a striker. We saw even against Chippa, he did not come off the bench to play as a striker, but he played as a 10 behind the striker. And then Umtutuzi in that game did not even play as a 10 when he came on initially. He plays as a left winger. So that just tells you that there is a lot of competition. And I'm not even talking about the other position that he plays in most of the times, which is the center forward or striker position. If you look in that role, there is Igotaro, there is Silva, there is Dupris who they can play, there is Mayo. I don't even know I counted Dupris before Mayo. But there's those 4. There is Utub, right? And I'm not going to count Morris. Those 5 ahead of him. If you go to the right wing position, Mfundo Vilagazi is currently starting. They play Sereno there at times. Velepai can play there. Lilep. On the left, you're still counting Lilepo, you're still counting Modi, you're still counting Velepai. So whichever position that is supposed to be playing in or that is known to excel in, there are valued players who are ahead of him. And I know people will say, don't count Modi. But even if I don't count Modi, they still in each and every position, at least 2 people in each position that he plays in. So the question is, should he be sent out on a loan? But look at Samgelo Zwane, look at every other player who has gone on a loan for Kaizer Chiefs. They don't actually look like, they don't get enough game time, they don't shine, and as a result, they just end up not looking that great. Look at Janssen. He went to SuperSport United last season. We thought, under Gavin Hunt, at least sometimes he trusts the young players, sometimes he's good because of his experience. Nothing happened. So I don't think a loan right now seems to make any sense. What also doesn't make sense is that some of you are not subscribed. In fact, 8 out of every 10 people who watch the video are not subscribed. So don't be that person. Subscribe because it's free. But what also makes sense would just be sending him to the DDC. Because that idea was thrown around. It's pointless, just like we did with Uhlongwane. They saw that Hlongwane is a brilliant young player, but him to warm a bench is not helpful. Touch Maba, so they saw that he's a very good player, but they did not see him starting. They sent him to the DDC. I think they should just do the same thing with Baartman. He's still young enough. He's eligible to play in the DDC team. Let him play. Let him get more minutes. Let him get more game time. Let him develop his confidence. And if he's playing there and he's scoring goals, his confidence will get even higher. And then, since he's already part of the senior team, he can just be pulled there and be brought up to the senior team. But right now, it doesn't make sense that Baartman is just not even, we just see him on stands, right? And if he's not ready, he's not ready. We're not saying he must start. If he's not ready, he's just not ready. And keep him there. But, don't just keep him there. Give him game time in the development team, and then we'll take it from there. So, let's talk about this. When an agent is asked, let's talk about Kaizer, and she says this. There are things that Kaizer and I will take to the grave. Umuntu says, I will take this to the grave. It sounds very, very serious. And it seems like this is. Because apparently something shady happened with Kaizer. And when Andile tries to ask the lady, hey, what actually happened? And she's like, no, I can't reveal this, because if I reveal what actually happened, they will say I defamed them. Who is they? I do not know. Right? They will say I defamed them, and they're asking, should it have been Kaizer Chiefs who got Kaizer in the first place? She says, definitely. But there's a caveat to this, because she also says, but Kaizer Chiefs were late. So the fact that they were late is still valid. But at the same time, the fact that something shady happened is still also the truth. So this is what I suspect happened, because in that interview, one thing that she also mentioned was the fact that you can't expect South African rands to compete with the countries that are trading in dollars, right? Like, if you think about it, Ipelushdat, they were not, they are probably offered more money for Umayo, right? But what I'm thinking happened is, we know this history with Cape Town Spurs, Cape Town City. They have been known not to want to sell players to Chiefs. They just known to make it difficult, right? So I'm thinking maybe they wanted a lot of money from Chiefs because they knew they could get more from Pelushtat. So then Kaizer realized that it's either I stay in this team, and since Chiefs were late, and Chiefs had made their interest known even publicly, which is something they don't usually do, I am thinking, this is me thinking, that he was like, it's either I stay here for Cape Town City or I move abroad. Because you remember Komaitis, the chairman of Cape Town City, he clearly said that he wants 36 million for him, right? So if you look for Chiefs, that was going to be very difficult. It's difficult for them to pay 9 million for Faisal Salum, or they don't want to. So now imagine timesing that by 3. Timesing that by 4, 9, 18, 27, 36, yeah. Times that by 4. How are they going to pay that thing times by 4? It's not going to happen, right? So that is my thing, that I think too much money or a lot of money was asked. Chiefs couldn't pay that, and Maya was like, it's either I stay here or I try my chances abroad. And he went, and it did not work out, and now he's back at Chiefs. And the fact that the agent is now talking like this, I am feeling strongly that the loan thing won't continue. When the loan ends, right? Chiefs will still keep Kaizer on a permanent basis, because if you look at his profile right now on transfer market, it says that we don't even know when his contract expires. We don't know. We actually don't know. We know the loan, that it's up to 2026, but I think last I checked, if I'm not mistaken, it was supposed to end in 2027. So that means, because last year was his first year, this is his second, then the next will be the third. So if not 2027, it's 2028, because usually contracts are 4 to 5 years. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I won't lie. Except the incident of him taking the goal of Modi, Mayo has not been bad for the Chiefs. Let's not lie. So I think it would be a good signing for Chiefs in any case. It's just that now, depending on his form, because even Blom came here on loan, but then we ended up not re-signing him. But the reason for that is because Blom refused to play as a right back, and then they were like, if you're not going to play as a right back, and we're telling you that what we need right now is a right back, then, attitude, what I'm talking about even right now with Utuba, he should stop sulking and just, accept Ugutabo Judas are the coaches. However he feels, just accept that and play for Judas Iscariot ball and perform for them. So it should be the case for any player. Be professional. You might not like them. I don't like them, but what I can say that on YouTube, and some people will say, oh, we know you don't like them. Yeah, because I know certain things that it's even difficult for me to disclose because of what I would expose about who told me those things. So knowing what I know, I prefer that I didn't know what I know about those two, but it's fine. Mayo, depending on his performance and his attitude towards the coaches and the management, I think since they wanted him, he might just stay longer. But then again, people will say Chiefs wanted Blom. Blom was always Chiefs' player, but they still let him go. So I think it was just down to Blom being sort of big-headed at the time, because you remember even at St. Louis, he had a fight with the coach and then blah, 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 and some disciplinary issues. So he came back to Chiefs and they saw that perhaps this is not the Blom who left, so they let him go. But I don't think Kaizer Chiefs is like that. I think right now he's living a dream. So he's working as hard as possible, I think, and he's also trying to please the coaches and the management. So I think it's going to be fine. Go check out this video. I rewatched the Chippa United game versus Chiefs, and I made a video specifically about, I'm not pointing at Safanjalo, I'm pointing at the video. I saw things about George Matlow that a lot of people missed because, for whatever reason. So go check it out on the Katbeko Tumpilo, and tune into the Katbeko Tumpilo tomorrow for the Pirates game, because I will be doing a watch along there as well. And also I'll be doing the watch along here on Sunday for the Chiefs game against Tescalax. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, remember, equals Alpelumoy.